Hello, my name is Tijana Koso, and this video is what I like to call is Your Secrets Keep You Sick. And it's a little bit about those things that we have inside ourselves that we really don't want to admit. And it has to do with other people. These aren't the secrets of trauma and shame like that, but they're shameful emotions that we have. And let me give you an example. For example, let's say you have a friend who's having a very difficult time, a divorce, something at work, she's got a problem with her children, and she's calling you. She's calling you, and you are the good friend, right? And you look at your phone and you see her name on the phone, and you're like, oh, I'm exhausted. I just got off work. I have the kids to take care of dinner. But you pick up the phone and you stuff your feeling down anyway, okay? So you just stuff it down. But it's in there, and you feel guilty a little bit because you're exhausted and you don't have time to listen to your friend, but you want to be a good friend. So I call that a secret you have, a little bit of a shaming voice that we have. And what I like to say is your secrets can set you free. So what I mean by that is we're not going to go tell everybody all those things, but we're not going to hold those beach balls down. With tapping, emotional freedom technique, we're going to release them so that we can deal with our friends and feel good. We're aligned with who we are. Our values of being a good person and our behavior and our thoughts inside our body are all equal, okay? I work with a lot of social workers, counselors, teachers, and nurses, the helping profession, and they're always having to be happy. And if there's a child who's really making it difficult for them, or just different things in their lives that are struggling, they're supposed to be happy and positive all the time, but then they have these things going on. So they have this push pull. And what I want to say with that is, again, your feelings aren't facts. We really need to release them. So I want to tell you this story. It happened some weeks ago. I got an email from my client. Years ago, I do tapping, and it's all FaceTime. And well, I do seminars now, but back then I did a lot of FaceTime. And she contacted me to work with me on leaving her corporate job. She was an accountant, and she wanted to leave her corporate job and go off on her own. And so I do more of a career coaching thing at the time. So we worked on it, and now here it is, like, I think 4 years later, 5 years later, she contacts me again, and she says, Tijana, I know you don't do weight loss, but would you work with me on we moved across the country, and then she told me the story about how she gained 35 pounds and she can't get it off, and tapping was so successful for her other business, maybe it'll work with this. And she said, would you work with me? And I said, yeah, Tara, I mean, what do you have to lose but a couple pounds? And she didn't laugh either. So actually she rolled her eyes. So we started tapping, and let me give you a little bit of the backstory. This woman she's in a biracial marriage. Her children are biracial. She had to move across the country for her husband's job. And I mean across from one end of the country to the other. And in that time, her mother passed away, and she gave up her business. She was the main breadwinner. So she gave that up to support her husband. She comes from a very Christian faith, and I don't follow all this. So she said that it's the woman's job to support the man and follow her husband. And so she gave it all up, and she made more money than he did to go across the country. Like I said, she lost her mother in the process. Her mother died of cancer, and then she also moved to a town, and she feels that they were not supporting her family, or she thought that she couldn't find a good church. She couldn't find a job. She was an accountant. She didn't have any friends. Rotten neighborhood. They didn't like her, and she gained the 35 pounds. So all this is going on, and we start the tapping session. Let's go back to the thing that I said, that feelings aren't facts and emotions aren't buried dead. So what happened is she realized through tapping, we started tapping, and what happened is she had that feeling where so I started this session, and I was like repeating everything she said. I'm so frustrated, it's been just so difficult moving, and I lost my mother, and we were walking through the points. It wasn't too far in that I said to her, I said, Tara, you take over, because you're really venting here. So let's get this going. And she just started venting, and she's like, I moved across the country. And then she's just going off, and I'm just following her, tapping around. And she goes, and this happened and that happened, and then her husband's name is Ben, and she's like, and Ben, he didn't even support me, and I mean, he doesn't realize what I gave up, and it just makes me so angry, and I just it drives me crazy. It's like I had it going, I built this business, I have to give it up for him because he's the man of the house, and I was just so angry. I mean, I know it's the right thing to do, but I'm so angry, and she is going off, and then she goes, I just hate him, and then she starts sobbing and telling me how she hates her husband. She hates her husband. She just sobbed, and I'm trying not to be shocked because I know she loves her husband, and I knew what a good marriage she was and how supportive he was of her. So I'm sitting there thinking, does she have a new husband? And then all of a sudden she goes, and I hate him, and I hate him, I hate him, and then she went like this, and I'm not exaggerating at all. She goes, and then she looks at me and she says, I don't hate him. He's a wonderful man, and you know that. I'm just so frustrated. I'm trying to be the good wife. I'm trying to be supportive, and then I lose my mother. And then she's sobbing through that. So the bottom line is, here's this woman who's trying to be a good Christian, and she's trying so hard to do the right thing. And guess what? She has these feelings that aren't really pretty. That's what I always like to say. And she's holding it down, because she has to look good. I'm the good Christian wife. I'll be supportive. And at the same time, she's stuffing the pain that she has, and this just a loss. And it probably had more to do with losing her mother. But we tapped on it, and I didn't hear Emma's one tapping session, and I didn't hear from her, and I just heard from her this week and the email was, this is what the email said. We moved 2 miles. I got a job. We found a great church, and I'm in the women's Bible study. And there was no mention of her weight at all. So I really don't know what happened there with her weight, if it's still there or not, but she didn't even mention it. It was like a non-issue. So I guess the moral of the story is there something going on in your life that you're denying, you don't want to admit? Feelings are fluid. I mean, my son would jump on me, my kids would jump on me on my lap one day and say, I love you, Mom. And then 5 minutes later, they hated me. And then they'd want me to read them a book. And so it's the same sort of thing. If we deny our feelings, we're just stuffing them down. And the research from stuffing emotions is really, really, it's traumatic what you do to your body from stuffing emotions down. So what I want you to think about is, what are you stuffing? If you only knew how much energy this woman took to hold this emotion down, what are you holding down, holding it together to keep a happy face? Okay? So I'm not telling you to go tell everybody everything. Tapping is so easy. You just go in your bedroom and you tap on it. You might have some different layers of emotions like she did, but you can address it so that you can show up and be your authentic self, not the real nice person and that secret, the good angel, the bad angel, whatever you want, the dark light side. She had that point and on her other side, and it was making her sick. So there's a worksheet that you can get from me. You can identify what your problems are, but find out if you can sense something with a situation. It's not serving you. Try to always be positive. My friend calls it toxic positivity, if you deny the truth. So I hope this video makes sense. Tapping is so easy, and why not just give it a try? I mean, you can do it anywhere. So what I like to say is, some tapping is better than no tapping. For more information, you can go to my website, www.cosoconsulting.com. You can email me from the link below. You can get the worksheet that could walk you through these issues. Either way, just give tapping a try, because what do you got to lose?